be the bairn, likely. Damn good job, too. Better if it was her old man, though, in case he lands her with another. They turned slowly from the window, and Hannah said, "By, that wouldn't have happened if John had been in. He'd have put a stop to that." "Funny, isn't it, Bella, that the old man doesn't go for John?" "Not funny a bit. He's afraid of him, if the truth was known. Old O'Brien and Dominic are both alike, full of wind and water. That's why they fight. By God, I wish I was in Mary Ellen's place for 5 minutes. I'd lay those two sods out with a poker. She's soft, that's what she is. Soft as clots." "Are you going to stay for a cup of tea?" she added. "I'll put the kettle on, it won't be a minute." "No, lass, I'm not half through, and it's getting on for dark." Bella glanced sideways at Hannah. "Should you come across Mary Ellen, you see her more than I do, and she tells you what it was all about, knock up." "Aye, I will, but there's small chance. She's close as Mary Ellen, you know that. I know she doesn't like me, thinks I can't mind my own business." "And she's right there," thought Hannah. "And anyway, I'm not the same colour as them," went on Bella, nodding her long horse face. "Me St. Patrick's Day's colour's blue. Wait until next Thursday week when Dominic's wearing his shamrock. There'll be skull and hair flying then. The 15 streets won't hold him. My God, remember last St. Patrick's Day? That was a do, eh?" She laughed at the memory. Bella, I must be off." Hannah unwrapped her mottled arms and banged out the creases in her coarse apron. "Well, don't forget to knock up if you hear out." "I won't." Hannah went down the stairs, walking sideways in case she slipped, as the stairs were too narrow for her feet, encased in an old pair of men's boots. By the time she reached the bottom, she had also reached a decision. She wouldn't tell Bella Bradley what she heard, if she heard out at all. Too nosy was Bella by half. She'd rather keep in with Mary Ellen, narrow as she was. At least she minded her own business, and heard Joe warned her only last night against Bella Bradley. He said he'd bash her face in if he found her upstairs again. He was nettled after hearing what she said about their Nancy not being all there. He knew Nancy wasn't all there, but it maddened him to hear anyone say it. More so now that Nancy was growing up. Hannah sighed. Oh, what would become of Nancy? She didn't know. And anyway, there was no time to think now. The washing had to be finished. Across the road in number 10 Fadden Street, Mary Ellen O'Brien worked in the semi-darkness behind the drawn blind. She adjusted the block of wood under the chest of drawers. The leg had been kicked off during the last row, and screwed in the knob of the top drawer. She picked up the grey blanket and patchwork quilt from the floor and spread them again over the lumpy, bare mattress on the iron bed. She pushed the wicker table back into the centre of the room and stood, leaning on its weak support, breathing heavily. Her eyes, dry with the pricking dryness of sand, looked round the walls. They were quite bare. Well, they would remain so. The only 2 pictures in the house were now gone. Never again would she try to build up. She had told herself if they went this time, it would be the last. She looked towards the closed door which led into the kitchen. She knew that beyond, on either side of the fireplace, they'd be sitting, spent. Their rage and passion flown, they would be like the 2 halves of one body, accepting each other now that the conflict was over, for a time. She lifted her apron and wiped the sweat from her forehead. If only they weren't so big, like giants. She hadn't dared go between them this time because of the bairn. She put her hand on the raised globe of her stomach and felt a movement. It brought no sense of feeling to her other than that of apprehension. Why, oh why was she to have this all over again? Hadn't she been through enough in her time? During the 26 years of her married life, she'd given birth to 11 bairns,